cold Oklahoma winter, analysis paralysis, and tool time with yours truly, Sione God, Vince Daguadon. These topics and more on this episode of the NDN Boatbuilder. It is a fine day here on the Cherokee Reservation here in Oklahoma, and it is a good day to really begin starting on this project. So that's the reason for these videos, these series of videos, however many they may be. I don't know how often they're going to be, but its main purpose is to document my journey from beginning to getting on the water. Yeah, you heard me right. I am going to try to build a boat. And for the rest of the story, we're going to go downstairs in my shop. This video has taken a couple days to produce, but this happened. And this is awesome. As you can see, this is snow. I know a lot of you up north, a lot of my friends up north will be like, what's so awesome about snow? We see this stuff all the time. Well, we don't see it that much here. We see ice, and it's either ice or sleet. Very seldom do we see snow, but last night we got snow, and it's awesome. Got about 7 inches here in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. And this is the cold Oklahoma winter that we're dealing with this year. Welcome to my shop. This unorganized mess that you see behind me and what you can't see off camera, it's not much, but it's mine. And this is where the magic is going to happen whenever I actually start building the boat. So the plan is to start building the frames using 2x4s here. I'm probably going to get into the specifics of the boat, why I chose the boat, and who designed the boat in a later video. But right now, I just wanted to touch on a few things and just get started with this little video series. So why do I want to build a boat? Who doesn't want a boat? What was the driving factor that made me go and actually decide to do this? Well, me and the family went to Branson, Missouri last summer, and we rented a pontoon boat. We had a great time. It was awesome. It was the first time that I actually drove a boat. And fast forward a couple more months, me and my wife went down to Miami. I took a boating lesson down there, and we went on into Key West. We were there probably about a week, and we were on the water probably about 95% of the time. Whether it was actually doing the boating lesson in Miami or looking for gators on the Everglades or seeing some beautiful sunsets, that really made an impression on me, and I wanted a boat. I was hooked. Shortly after vacation, we came back home, and I just found myself immersed in trying to find out what all it takes to build a boat. I joined Facebook groups, I read forums, and I'm still doing that right now. Watched YouTube videos, bought books, numerous books, and I might actually get into detail of some of those books in a little bit later in another episode. I don't know. But right now, I find myself in the middle of what I call analysis paralysis, to the point where I am just researching and researching and researching, and I'm not doing anything. So right now, I feel that now is the time to actually start building this thing, and I wanted to document it, and that is the reason why we are having all of these episodes. What I'm doing now is trying to acquire tools, one at a time, piece by piece, what I can find and what I can afford. I'm actually having a lot of help from some of my friends and also some of my ancestors. So right now, I want to give a shout out to my friend Tim. He's a dude that frequents estate auctions and just consignment auctions around here. And one time he went and he actually scored me a great deal on some clamps. I got various sizes. It's a start, probably got about 20, but everything that I've read and everything that I've seen on YouTube, they've always said this: you can never have enough clamps whenever you're building a boat. And I believe it. Right now, I got a bunch. It's the most that I've ever had, ever. But I know that it's not going to be enough, so I'm still going to continue to look. But right now, thanks, Tim. So I actually attended an auction as well. It happened on January 1st. I saw the post on Facebook. They posted a lot of pictures. They didn't have that many woodworking tools, but they did have this. And I went there and I sat all day to be able to bid on this thing. And I got this thing for dirt cheap. It's an old Miller's Falls hand plane. It's all there. It's pretty true. It needs to be tuned up a little bit, but it works. It makes really good shavings, and I'm actually going to be using this probably during the fairing process. Now, am I going to be using power tools whenever I'm doing this boat? Absolutely. But there are going to be times when I believe that hand tools, old stuff like this, that's still relevant, is going to be far superior than any of the power tools that we have today. And as I said before, I'm also having a little bit of help from my ancestors. So this right here, these two tools, to anybody else, this old rusty framing square and this old brace drill probably are worth nothing to anybody else. But to me, they're priceless. This framing square, even though it's rusty, it is still true. And this old brace drill still works. And I got bits for it, and they're sharp. These belonged to my grandpa. And my grandpa actually served in the Navy during World War II. I didn't know him, but he was actually a carpenter's mate, 3rd class, I believe. Now, we still have a few pieces of his woodwork left. Very few pieces remain, but I have a few shelves and I have a chair that I might actually show you all in a later episode. But right here, I'm actually going to use these in the process of whenever I actually build my boat. I've read that even though power drills are awesome, these come in handy whenever you really need to be precise about how deep you're going to drive a screw. And you can actually have the feeling of the wood with these as opposed to a power drill when it's just like super fast. So I'm actually going to be using these. These were my grandpa's, and I'm anxious and excited to see exactly how I'm going to be able to put these in the build process. So along with the help of my grandpa, I'm also going to say that I'm going to get a little bit of help from my dad. My dad died about 6 years ago, and I think about him every day. I miss him a great deal. But behind me is his old DeWalt radial arm saw. It is in pieces right now, but everything is there. It still works, and it cuts. With a little bit of tune-up, not much at all, this thing is going to be flawless, and I'm going to use this. This is going to be my workhorse for a while on this. And my dad used this every single day that I can remember up until the time that he couldn't do anything anymore. And it's in great shape. I've already bought a blade and going to do some test cuts. Probably going to put another table on it as well. But this is going to be my workhorse to get started on the frames. So along with the research and the tools, I'm also getting things ready to be able to help me out in the future. A few months ago, I got some help from my brother-in-law, my nephew, and my cousin. I had them to add on to an existing carport at my mom's house. This extra bay will allow me to have a place where the boat can stay during the construction process, especially during the strongback stage. Here is a photo I found on the net. The boat will be constructed upside down. This carport will be where it lives while building, after it is flipped, and even when it is finished. So that is where we are right now. Right now, I am still in the middle of my research and getting things ready. The next video, I kind of want to go into why I chose the particular boat that I'm going to build. I want to say that it is a Jeff Spira designed Pacific power dory, and we will go ahead and get into that in the next video. But right now, I just want to thank you for joining me on this first video of the NDN Boatbuilder. I'm Vince, and we'll see you next time.